Malaysian Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin has defended his decision to declare a state of emergency. He says it was not to keep him in power forever, but to contain the COVID-19 pandemic. In a speech marking a year since he took power, he also reassured people an election will take place after the situation improves. Melissa Goh reports.
It's no mean feat that 73-year-old Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin, who rose to power following a collapse of the former Perikatan Nasional government, remained firmly at the helm 1 year on. This despite numerous leadership challenges, not just from the opposition Pakatan Harapan, but also from its largest ally within the Perikatan Nasional government. UMNO, the ex-ruling party, has been trying to reassert its dominance by forcing an early election.
Everything we've seen over the last 1 year has been unprecedented. This is the first ruling federal coalition that was formed midstream, with the smaller party Bersatu taking over key positions, including the Prime Minister position. The fact that it has lasted 1 year is very impressive.
Mr Muhyiddin swiftly introduced strict movement control last March to rein in the pandemic. To endear himself to the grassroots, his administration has since cultivated a fatherly image known as Abah and dished out various aids for the poor and the unemployed. But his popularity took a beating late last year following a resurgence of COVID-19 cases, triggered largely by the Sabah state election.
When the early measures were taken way back in March, April, Mr Muhyiddin's approval ratings were at an all-time high, well over 80%, because he was seen as acting in response to a crisis. The fact that action was delayed by about 3 or 4 weeks because of the change of government and so on and so forth, people were prepared to forget that. But unfortunately, when you resort to emergencies, that suggests that apparent success was Pyrrhic, that people do not believe that it was a success, that we were perhaps even taken for a ride.
But Prime Minister Muhyiddin, speaking on his first anniversary, insisted that the emergency proclamation was necessary for his government to effectively fight COVID-19 that's infected more than 300,000 and killed over 1,000. Now, he also repeated his promise to call for general election as soon as the pandemic is over.
Of course, when the election is held, we will leave it to the people to decide whether the Perikatan National Government should be re-elected or otherwise. My hope is they will re-elect us. Because you are free to choose, and that is what democracy is all about.
The emergency ordinance declared mid-January also suspended the Malaysian Parliament. It expires on August 1st unless lifted earlier. Now, analysts say how Mr Muhyiddin fares in the next polls will very much depend on the success of the vaccine rollout and how fast the rebound of the economy that's contracted 5.6% last year. Now, the Prime Minister took his first shot last Wednesday and officially kick-started the national immunisation program. Malaysia hopes to vaccinate 80% of its population by year-end. Melissa Goh, CNA, Kuala Lumpur.